What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, back at it again, bringing you guys another chapter reaction, a light novel chapter of chapter 101 of The Beginning After the End, which is the corresponding chapter to chapter 57 in the light novel called Family Gathering. So this chapter is when Tessia finally kissed Arthur. So I'm assuming you guys already read the webcomic version of it. However, in this one, we're going to see if there's any differences within that chapter from the light novel to the webcomic. So if you guys are excited to read along with me or just tune in, feel free to smash that like button. It'll mean the world. Also smash that sub button and hit that bell so you can always stay plugged with each and every upload. I'm telling you guys, if you like Beginning After the End content, this is the best place to be to get that dose of heat. So with that all out the way, like always, remember this is chapter 57 in the light novel, and this is chapter 101 in the webcomic. It has the same name, but just remember, if you want to read this in the light novel, go to chapter 57 and onward. So without any further ado, let's get this heat started. Chapter 57, Family Gathering. Professor Glory's POV. I'm too late. Damn it. What's happening to her? Why did she suddenly collapse? Is something wrong with her monocore? Why now? I could only watch in horror as Prince Curtis' breath attack made its way toward Tessia. With absolute no defense around her, would she live? If so, would she even be able to continue being a mage? Forget mage, she might have to live as a cripple for the rest of her life. Dang. I could feel tears well up in my eyes as I desperately made my way towards them, but I knew I wasn't going to make it. Her whole life was probably flashing before our eyes, to be honest, because, she is still technically like a princess, and you let that happen, that's going to be on your head because you're the professor. Like, I'm just saying. But all well as that ends well because art came through. What would the consequence be? I would be happy if it just ended with me getting fired. I was more concerned that this would start a civil war. During this important time in the continent, I was going to be the cause of the split between three races. Oh my god, she does have a point. As Curtis' world howl engulfed the princess, I screamed in dread. A look of shock crossed Princess Gladiator's face as he realized after releasing his attack that Tess was already unconscious. Okay, so he did notice. There was no way though. There was no way to stop the attack. After what seemed like hours, the beam slowly dispersed, and what I saw shocked me even more. Worst possible scenario I imagined. In utter disbelief, I stammered, Arthur Llewellyn? How the hell did he get there? Just a moment ago, he was occupied with Lucas inside Inferno's cage. Instant teleportation? Was that even possible? No. That wasn't possible. I jumped off the torch as soon as I got close enough to rush towards Arthur and Princess Tess. Art was in bad shape. Most of his clothes were disintegrated, with only patches of his uniform intact, and strange bandages around his left arm. He was bloody all over, and I could see deep gashes near his sides, where a rib bone was visible. Whoa. Okay, so the impact was way more severe in the light novel than in the webcomic. So his rib bones were sticking out. Holy shit. His body was wrapped around the princess, and from what I could tell, he used most of his mana to protect her. Thanks to that, she was almost unscathed. The rest of the students all rushed out of the viewing platform and made their way here. Unfortunately, the princess was okay, but Arthur needed immediate attention. But as soon as I got close enough to try to help them, Arthur's little bond stopped me in my tracks. Grrr! Normally, I'll find the small white fox that rode on top of Arthur's head cute, but right now, the killing intent it was given off was anything but. Dang. The amount of pure menace radiating from the little fox was no joke. It seemed to be protecting its master and Princess Tessia. It's okay, little buddy. I'm only trying to help. I tried to slowly ease my way closer, but it only growled louder. Torch, who was normally unafraid, even in the chaos of battle, held me back with her beak clutching the back of my shirt. Professor, I didn't mean to. I didn't think Princess Tessia would suddenly faint. Curtis ran to me, his face pale in fright. Yo, it's not your fault, Curtis, man. You like you said, you had no idea she's just going to faint out of nowhere. It's alright, I know. I don't know how, but Arthur managed to protect the princess. His bond won't let me get close to them either. I clutched my fist in frustration. Arthur needed immediate attention. Why was his bond risking his master's life by doing this? What was it trying to protect? Curtis tried to get to Art and Tessia, but failed as well. So we all just stood around, the two of them. What was he trying to... What's going on? Every attempt at getting even a step closer to Art and Tessia resulted in the bond lashing out at us. Someone get Director Goodsky, I barked out. Some of the students regained their senses, but when they were about to leave, a loud screech filled the air. From above, a green owl soared down and landed in front of Arthur's bond. Q! Who? Q! Hoot. Are they communicating? Prince Gladiator couldn't help but stammer in the confusion. I think so. I scratched my head at this. Could monobees of different species communicate with each other? As we all stood there watching the white fox and the green owl talk, a couple of minutes later, Dr. Goodsky arrived looking quite flustered. Oh my! She kneeled in front of the two of them, but this time Arthur's bond didn't do anything to stop her. Director Goodsky, before I had the chance to tell her what happened, she stopped me. Please, I'll hear what happened later. Taking these two to the infirmary is top priority. I will take them myself. Go contact... Oh wait, how are you going to pick them up? What? Anywho, go contact the guild hall and have them send over their top healers, she said while levitating Arthur and the princess. Oh, I'm done. She's using her wind powers. I gave her a nod before getting on top of Torch. Arthur Llewellyn's POV. Cough, cough. I woke up to a jolt of searing pain throughout my side, causing me to erupt in a fit of coughs. My whole body felt immersed in all different kinds of pain, from the stabbing pain to burning pain to the throbbing pain, with the occasional tearing pain radiating all over my body. Without the strength to even scream, I was left gritting my teeth as I clenched the side of the bed I was lying on. Dang, this is probably the worst shape Art has ever been in. I was thinking, is it worse than after the Dire Tombs arc when he fought the Elder Beast Garden? I think this is actually worse. Who knows? I don't know. I would say this is. His ribs are showing. Oh my god. They really need to hurry up and invest in anesthesis. Oh my god. A few minutes later, as I got a little more used to the agony my body was in, I feebly turned my head to see Sylvie sleeping next to me. How are you feeling, Art? Director Goodsky's familiar voice came from the other side of the bed. Without the strength to turn my head again, I whimpered, Never better. Why do you ask? If you have the will to answer sarcastically, I'm sure you'll be okay, she chuckled. If I had the strength to roll my eyes at her, I would. How's Tessia? I asked, my voice hoarse. Well, good news is, Tessia is in a much better state than you. She let out a sigh. Her body cannot handle her beast will, right? How did you know? Dr. Goodsky came around so she could face me completely. Because I was the one that gave the beast will to her. I tried to sit up, but the pain from my body made me stop almost immediately. Continuing what I was saying, I gritted my teeth to bear the pain. Making sure no one knows that Tessia had a beast will, at least for now. I'll help Tessia with the assimilation myself if I was able to, but I'll leave her to you. I could tell she wanted to ask more questions, but she held back for my own sake. Once I got you both back into the infirmary, I didn't let anyone else see either of you besides the healers. I contacted the royal families, as well as your own though. They should be coming soon. I assumed that she acquired the beast will from Veron, but to think it was from you. Get some rest, Arthur. Though your body is unusually strong, and I don't think there will be any repercussions from moving around soon. It's better to be safe than sorry. She headed to the door, but turned back before leaving. Thank you for staying, Tessia. I gave her a weak smile, and I slumbered back to sleep. Also, I gotta address. A lot of people are saying like I'm saying Tessia's name wrong. If it is, then that's fine. I can't be bothered to change it. I'm used to saying like this. If you have a problem, I'm sorry, but like I'm not going to change it. I just had to say that because a few of you guys were like, critiquing me about that, but I'm just going to say it like that. Anyway, next time I woke up was from Sylvie licking my cheek. Papa, are you feeling better now? I must have been having a bad nightmare because I was drenched in sweat. Honey, Arthur's awake. I heard my mother's voice to my left. Turning my head was a lot easier if I ignored the pain. Hey Mom, when did you guys get here? I gave her the best smile I could muster up. Are you okay? Director Goodsky didn't tell us what happened to you yet. How did you get hurt so badly on the first day of school? Yeah, I would be wondering too, like, it's Arthur. Like, that's kind of crazy. I could tell she wanted to hug me, but she held herself back after realizing I probably wasn't in the best state for that. My sister rushed to the other side of the bed and leaned forward. Brother, are you okay now? Does it hurt? My eyes widened in horror as I noticed she was about to place her hand on my body to probe me, but before she was able to, Mother stopped her. Oh my God, thank God. You're already getting into fights, son? My father smirked. You should see how the other guy looks. I grinned back, making him laugh. My mother just gasped at this and started thinking what the other person must look like. He's only joking, Miss Lewin. Coming in through the doors was Director Goodsky with the whole Earthwind family, including Tess, who was looking a lot better. My father took a step back in surprise as my mother gasped, covering her mouth. Pleased to finally meet your acquaintance, Mr. and Mrs. Lewin. Alduin Arthurin, Tessia's father, and the former king of Eleanor grabbed my stunned father's hand and shook it. Oh my God. I've always wanted to meet the parents of Arthur. It's such a pleasure to meet you in person. Merla, the former queen of Eleanor, and Tessia's mother. Merla Earthrin hugged my mother, who had still had her hands over her mouth in disbelief. Merla then went to Ellie and patted her head gently. You must be Arthur's little sister. You're so adorable. I saw you guys at the announcement a couple of months back. My father's speaking skills seemed to drastically decline in front of them, which I found surprising since they didn't react this much, even towards the king and queen of Span. That's interesting. I guess it's different because they're like just a different race, who knows. Greetings. I go by Veron Earthen, and I'm your son's former teacher. He shot me a cheeky grin as he grasped my father's hand. Without the energy to even retort, I smiled helplessly back as my father and mother gazes switched back and forth between Earthland family and me. Hello, my name is Tessia. It's a pleasure to meet you. Please take care of me. What? What the hell? Please take care of me? Why would she say that? I'm Arthur's childhood friend, and I'm not sure if he talked about me with you, but I really am. Tess bowed so her body was at a full 90-degree angle, her voice a mixture of respect and panic. She quickly got back up, with her hair dropping over most of her face as she tried to fix her hair. I could see her face becoming more and more red. At this, my parents became a bit more surprised, but my mother looked at me with a coy smile that suggests she was onto something and kneeled in front of Tess. I see. Well, aren't you the prettiest girl I've ever seen? Please take good care of my son. As you may know, he's the type to get into trouble a lot, so it'll really help me if I know he has someone like you next to him, now and in the future. My mother shot her a wink and she stroked Tess's hair. I wasn't really sure what Tess really heard, but she was definitely overthinking everything. Eyes widened as her already red face turned to a shade brighter. Oh my God. She responded in a voice that was an octave higher than usual. Yes! She beamed while nodding vigorously. My father was still clueless to what was going on, but I could only internally groan. Leave it to my mother to instill misleading thoughts like this into a 13-year-old girl. I mean, you like Tess. Come on now. After getting back up, both my mother and Merla broke out in a fit of giggles while my sister began pouting. presumably because our mother said that Tess was the prettiest girl she's ever seen. Oh my god, I'm getting jealous. How are you feeling, brat? Ron took a seat on the edge of the bed as he gave a pat to Sylvie, who went back to sleep. Tess regained her senses, walked up to me with a worried expression. I can beat you in a fight right now, Gramps. I tried to hold in the coughs that were about to come out, but I couldn't. I'm so sorry, Arthur. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have been... I stopped her mid-sentence and poked her gently between her eyebrows with my finger. Don't furrow your brows, Tess. Your face will turn ugly. As the strength in my arm gave out, I slumped back down and took a deep breath. Gramps, did you take a look at Tess' Monoscore? How's everything looking? I couldn't help but be worried since I knew exactly what she was going through. He gave me a soft smile. Luckily, her body seemed to be a lot more compatible with the Beast Core than your body was when you first integrated. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Probably because it's like plant, magic and everything. By the way, how the hell did you manage to pick up an Elderwood Guardian's Beast Core? He leaned in forward and spoke in a hushed voice. By killing one, of course. I gave him a weak smirk. Yo. You were joking. No, you're joking, right? You're telling me that you killed an S-Class Mana Beast? Graham's usual stern face was round in astonishment. As he got even closer, our face almost touching. You're too close, Grams. I can smell what you had for your last meal. Wait, how long have you been out for? I couldn't get a grasp on how much time has passed. From what Cynthia told me, it's been a bit more than a day since you passed out. You missed your second day of class. He let out a sigh. Oh no, I guess I could forget about shooting for a perfect attendance. I gave a weak elbow to his arm, making him chuckle. Tessia giggled as well as she took a seat on the bed too. I'm telling you, I'm Arthur Llewellyn's best friend. We're like brothers. If I can't visit him, then who can? I'm telling you, it's true. Oh my god, Elijah. I heard a familiar voice echo in the distance, and I couldn't help but chortle at my friend. Director Goodsky, hearing this as well, signaled the security to let him through. Arthur, you okay, man? He rushed towards me, totally oblivious to the other people in the room. You're late, and you didn't even bring any food with you. Letting out an exaggerated sigh, I just slightly shook my head. Haha, I guess you're fine if you can talk like that. Elijah let out a sigh of relief, washing over his face. I started smiling as his head came back up and recognized who's the other people in the room. My friend's face contorted from relief to terror as he realized that besides my family, director of the academy and the whole royal family of Kingdom of Elnor was in this room. Oh my, his slack jaw failed to form words. Ow, my stomach felt like it was being wrangled as I couldn't stop laughing. Gramps, Mr. and Mrs. Elthrin, I'd like you to meet my closest friend, Elijah. Pleased to meet you. Sorry for being so rude just now. Elijah immediately bowed, almost dropping his glasses. After everyone got acquainted with each other, my parents continued to chat with Tessa's parents at the other side of the room. Gramps finally let me alone and started catching up with Director Goodsky after ringing me of all the details and telling me to make time for him once I get better and further discuss everything else. Brother, who's prettier, me or her? Ellie pointed at Tess and gave me a serious look. You guys are both pretty ugly to me. I just shrugged helplessly, but I regretted it as soon as the words left my mouth. Ow, that seriously hurt right now. I groaned as both of them pinched and twisted the skin on my arm. Oh my god, yo, this guy's on his deathbed. I'm just joking, but damn, still, he's pretty injured. Anywho, Tess, like I said, Elijah is a close friend of mine. You guys should get along. I said through gritting teeth, my arms still throbbing, more so from the state of my body than the power of my sister and Tess pinches. Sorry, I never formally introduced myself to you. I'm Tessia Earthrin, Arthur's closest friend. Oh my god. She stuck out her hand, and as Elijah accepted her handshake, he responded, I'm Elijah, Art's best friend. Nice to meet you. Sparks flew between them as they glared at each other in competition. I rolled my eyes as my sister giggled. I was getting tired from being awake for even this long. My eyelids began to weigh down heavily. Director Goodsky noticed this, announcing to everyone, "Now I think it's time that we give Arthur some rest. His life isn't in danger, but he should be very tired right now. Son, come visit home after you're all healed up, okay?" My father grasped my hand and gave it a gentle squeeze before herding my family out. "Get plenty of rest, okay dear?" my mother said as she headed out. Tess' parents said her brief goodbyes while patting me softly on the arm before falling out after my parents. "We'll catch up soon, brat." Vron ruffled my hair, making me wince, and towed Tess and Elijah out with him. Haha, I look at Sylvie, who is still fast asleep. As I was about to close my eyes, the door squeaked open once more. "Did you leave something, Tess?" She spotted from the corner of my eye. I didn't bother turning my head. "Hey, Arthur." She arrived next to me and glanced back at the door. I think this is time." "You said you couldn't really move your body, right?" I could see in my peripheral view that she was fidgeting a little. "I can probably only turn my head and lift my arms for a little bit. Why?" As I turned my head towards her, my eyes widened in surprise as I realized Tess' face was just inches away from mine. Her eyes glazed at me with an expression I've never seen in her, and before long, I felt her lips as she closed her eyes. The soft warm sensation of her lips on mine caught me by surprise, but my body didn't let me react. Dang. Instead, I spot a small mole in the outer corner of her eye that I never noticed before. Wow, okay. As she pulled away, her eyes locked onto mine. Then she quickly turned her head and ran out the room, leaving me more dazed than when I first woken up. That was good. That was good. Okay, that's the chapter. That's the chapter. Awesome. So nothing too crazy from the kissing scene. I guess like the mole part that wasn't in the webcomic, which was kind of cool. It was a nice touch. The biggest difference I feel like was knowing that Curtis didn't know that Tessia was fainting, and also that Tessia was more compatible with their beast core, more so than Arthur's, assimilation process. Makes sense because what's his correlation to a dragon, right? Princess Tessia, she could use plant magic, Elder Beast Garden is a freaking plant. So that makes sense. That was kind of cool. What else? I think, I'm probably missing some other stuff that we noticed. Yeah, just more detail about the fight. Also the ribs part. When Arthur got injured in the webcomic, it wasn't even that bad. We actually see there was ribs sticking out. Like you can see the side of his ribs, which was insane. And it's interesting that I feel like they should have incorporated like Art being heavily injured a lot more in the webcomic so we get a good idea how severe this injury was. Because so far I feel like this is the most dire injury, second to the Dire Tombs arc, after hearing that his ribs were sticking out. So that's just my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this chapter compared to the webtoon corresponding chapter. So with that all out the way, that concludes this reaction. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys did, remember to smash that like button, hit that sub button, and turn on that bell so you always stay plugged for each and every upload. And that being said, that concludes the reaction. However, don't stop leveling up. SavvyNut signing out. With